Hey, 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 good morning, good morning. It's Friday. It's our favourite day of the week. Hope everyone is doing good. And I hope, we're going to interact in this live show on our favourite topic transfers, hot gossip, incomings, outgoings, West Ham United, Sullivan, our director of football, our technical director, Noble, David Moyes. The circus goes on. And we're going to hopefully next half an hour, whatever, we'll look at all the gossip, see what's going on. Certainly, there were a lot of developments yesterday. I was going to do a show yesterday, and just got busy doing one or two other things again, as I always do. And then also, I thought, well, doesn't look like any concrete deals will be done late tomorrow, even though the reports that were coming in late evening were quite substantial and concrete. And this morning, I mean, we'll go into it at the moment, and a lot of things are moving along, getting closer. Gossip's getting warmer. So hope all you guys are doing well. And again, I just want to say it's so happy to get the channel back, and all my old guard, old army, with all their nice comments and joining in the chat, and the views have been absolutely through the roof. I mean, I've only done 2 free shows, and it shows all the love out there, and I'm really makes my decision to come back a lot more substantial, doesn't it? So I'm really happy to be back. And like I said, we'll keep going along back to what we used to do the most, which is live shows, interacting with you guys, and honest opinions, isn't it? That's what you like with jazz, isn't it? No holes barred, honest opinions, never sitting on the fence. That's what the channel's always about. That's what the popularity was about, and we'll always stick to that. We've got no agenda. We don't want to be politically correct. I've got to calm down on the swearing. Understand that. I think I've improved. A bit, but sometimes, especially with West Ham, straight after full time and things haven't gone well, the adrenaline's running, the rum and cokes are in. Rum and cokes don't help, but which I'm going to ease off them at the moment anyway. So you won't see too many rum coke fuel shows from Jazz unless there's a demand for it. We can look at that, but I do want to do a lot more shows, more sober than I used to. I think that's my target, and so far so good, really. So let's see who's in the chat. We got Michael's in the chat. Michael, morning, mate. I haven't looked into him yet. See, what I like to do is because there's so many players that we get linked to, literally double digits every other day. When I do my shows, I like to look at, as I like to look at how they're going to fit in, formations, how they play, that kind of thing, and then go in from that moment, really. So it takes a lot of insight, a lot of sort of looking into the background of players. So I only want to do that when I think it's a fairly hot link and something could happen. Otherwise, I'll be here all day discussing 25 players, and I'm like, don't want to do that, mate. But anyway, I hope you're well. Robert's in there. Robert, how you doing, mate? You all right? Friday's the best day, isn't it, mate? Hope everyone's had a good week. Much more cooler today, raining and all of that. Simon's in there, mate. Simon, morning, mate, morning. But let's crack on with it, and let's have a look at the first player out the two that's been very strongly linked. So Tim Stetten, is it? He flew to Amsterdam yesterday to tie up one signing in particular, and that one is, let me get his details up. Won't be a minute. Where's he gone? Mohamed Kudus, attacking midfielder. So when I look at him for Ajax, Ajax play 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, and Kudus plays in the Bowen position on the right of the three, behind the striker. Haven't seen him through the middle a lot, although a lot of descriptions are saying he can play in the middle. So we'll see what happens. So some people think he can play the Bowen role. Some people think he can play the Fornells role, which is what he did against Bournemouth. There was also rumours, when I looked at him, he looked really good, rapid, fast, good age. He's 23, I think. Ghana, 24 caps, 7 goals. But then 3-4 days ago, they were saying that he's so good that perhaps he's looking for a level above us. So I think teams like Chelsea were looking at him, one or two others. I think Brighton nearly had a deal agreed, but it broke down due to one or two other things, like perhaps personal terms. We don't know. Ajax again, we bought Alvarez, and when you look at the lineups last year, everyone, they all play on the same side. So Alvarez is on the right of the two sitting CDMs, and then he'll be just ahead of him. So it's perhaps like I don't know if it used to be what Souček behind Bowen or Rice behind Bowen. So that's amazing with two people playing on the same side from the same team, good ages, good internationals. One's very, very strong. One's very, very fast, really. And yeah, it did look like we weren't going to get this. And he's a little bit above, from our level. Perhaps he was looking for a Champions League team. But looks like, from what we're hearing, is that certainly the personal terms have been agreed. So still, let's keep caution. But it's moving along nicely. And when one of our team, sort of hiring team, flies out there for a chat, it kind of gets more substantial, doesn't it? And that can hopefully only happen when there's a hint that the player is likely to at least discuss and is willing to hear the idea and pretty proactive and positive about it. Because bear in mind, the window's going to close, I think, in 12, 13 days time, less than 2 weeks time. And these players, no matter how great their clubs are outside the Premier League and how much they're in love with that club, you cannot beat the pulling power of the Premiership. It's the biggest in the world, the richest. And I gave you that example, didn't I, where last January window, Chelsea spent more money than the 3-4 other biggest European leagues put together. And this is where most of the good players are now. I mean, when I grew up, Italy was the big league. And then Germany was equally good, you see. And then even one of our good players used to go over and play in the Italian league. Paul Gascoigne, David Platt, Graham Souness, Liam Brady, Ray Wilkins, all those guys. But now it's the other way around, you see. So I think sometimes that helps. West Ham being in London helps. We're in Europa, and that's a kind of a pulling power as well. What doesn't help our situation, and again, I'm going to be honest, and you guys can have a go at me, I don't think David Moyes is a good pulling power. He's an old manager, not really any exciting way. Look the way Poch is attracting all the big players and stuff like that, or the Brighton manager. That's the way you want to play. So David Moyes is not. He's a kind of hindrance sometimes. And actually, talking about hindrances and David Moyes and West Ham training ground 1 or 2 up, I don't know if you've heard the news of Maguire in the morning. I mean, Maguire, Sam Allardyce is saying that Maguire's agent is a very, very close friend of mine, and he has rejected West Ham United rather than something going on about him staying at Man United. He feels that West Ham are in for another struggle, really. So he's saying he doesn't want to get involved in any kind of relegation battle, that he feels there's a club that's likely to finish much higher than West Ham that he should be signing for. Again, I'm not going to say he's correct or not. We had a really, really poor league season. You can't get away from the fact we won the cup, absolutely fabulous, but the league is your bread and butter, and we cannot get away from the fact that our league form going back 1 or 2 years is appalling. Especially kind of, you look at the home record, away record, it's really bad. And that 1-1 draw at Bournemouth, I go back to it, that is a shocking result. I'm telling you, Bournemouth, God bless them, respect, wonderful part of the world, great family-run club, great club, great story. They are going to be one of the poor teams in the league. And when you're 1-0 up, and it's all go back to again, let's all put people behind the ball. That you're not going to attract a lot of players for that. And people like Kudus, whether we like it or not, they're joining in A, Premier League, B, doubling their salary, C, that could go on to even greater things within the league. Just being honest out there, those are the biggest things why people are coming to West Ham. Usually it used to be the manager or the name of the club and things like that. That's still out there, especially last two years we've been in Europe. That's how you get your name. Like I was mentioning, being so many years outside Europe, people don't know who you are anymore. The old biggies like me know who we are in our history, but you've got to be in Europe year in, year out to get that new generation of fans across the world, and the players kind of, finding out who you are really. So Mohamed Kudus, 23, everyone. Basically, if you look at his transfers, everyone, he signed for Ajax in 2020 for 9 million euros. So he played in Norway from Ghana, and then in 2020 he signed for Ajax. And then I'm just going to show you his goal stats, and then we're going to go into the chat. But for me, before I carry on, I think again it's a good signing. But the worrying thing for me, I was mentioning to the kids last night, is he plays in a Bowen position. And we've seen the comments from David Moyes saying he doesn't mind playing Bowen up front. And I know Bowen, scores goals and that kind of thing. But I don't want Bowen up front, So It's exciting to see this guy in the middle. So if he can be in the middle where Fornals is, can you imagine that? The runs, the pace, the assists, the creativity, the shooting. That excites me, right? And then we've got Bowen next to him, Ben Rama on the other side. Benny, we're going to have to keep an eye on Benny as well. Benny has to up it a bit more. We want to see him visible in the big games. Like I said, we don't see enough of that. He has to dictate games, has to want the ball, be strong enough. Sometimes his shot's not strong enough, but he's getting there slowly. Just needs to keep regularly playing. Obviously, great penalty taker, but whether that'll carry on or not, I don't know. I mean, it's fair that he carries on for his confidence sake because he hasn't missed, but JWP Prowse should be the long-term solution with penalties, really. So before we really go into the stats with Kudus, let's see what's happening in the chat. Chat's building up. You guys have had your Weetabix like me, mate, sounds like. Steve's on it, mate. Hey, how you doing, mate? Hope you're right. Steve Badges again. Follow him. So this is a quick thing for Steve. I'm just going to put on the for everyone. There we go. Let me just close the chat down, Steve, mate, and then I'll put your sign up and promote your thing, mate. I've got it here ready for display. There we go. So everyone have a look at that for a minute or so while I carry on chatting. Then we'll go into the chat. Steve's got a Facebook page called West Ham United Nostalgia. Please, get onto the group, subscribe, become a member. A lot of history going back to the time I was growing up as a West Ham fan, the John Lyle, the old Castle Crest, Brooking, all that time, Upton Park days, and Steve's an avid historian and avid badge collector as well, and lots of it. And some of the photos that Steve puts on that Facebook is incredible. I don't know where he gets hold of them, because I love history, I love old photos, especially from the John Lyle times, and he gets photos that you've never seen before. We can all Google West Ham United, but I'm sure he's got other contacts and sources, and he puts old retro West Ham photos on there, whether it's something from the 1980 celebrations in near the town hall, or the next day, or the dinner, something unique. So follow that page, and kind of Steve's a good lad. He helped me with some of the history things we did together, really. Let's go back to the chat before I get sidetracked. Right, where was I? Need a secretary here, don't I, really? Simon, how you doing, mate? Good morning. Kudus is a monster with a flair of Paqueta. He's fast, isn't he, Michael? What I like is that he's fast, he's dynamic, he's young, and hopefully, Moisey, I think Moisey will go at some point during the season, right? Just being honest, again, out there. But while he's signed and he joins, Moisey hopefully doesn't tell him to just only attack after 70th minute and stay behind the ball. But yeah, he looks good, mate. Alexander's joined in. Another story was, we're going to go into that, my man. We're going to go into player number 2 later on, Mavropanos. We're going to go into him in a minute, mate. And I've got different feelings about him. We'll go into it. Kudus, I'm very excited about. No problem about that. But slightly different story in that one, mate. But we'll go into it. It is weird, isn't it, mate? It is weird who's signing whose ideas are who. We can all guess, mate. But these players, like you said, I mean, there's rumours this morning that a pundit thinks that Ward-Prowse isn't David Moyes' first choice CDM. He wanted McTominay, mate. So I don't know. Let's see, mate. And then I think it's Tim Sherwood, mate. He said we haven't got enough legs. If it's Souček with Ward-Prowse in the middle, which I'm not sure about, then Tim Sherwood is absolutely correct. They haven't got the legs. I mean, the thing with Souček is he kind of has got the legs, but he's not really. He doesn't break up play as much as a typical CDM should. He just runs around for the sake of it, and then his finishing needs to improve. I mean, but I'll stick my head out and say I'll take Souček out. If you're talking about 2 CDMs, I've got to play Ward-Prowse in there with Alvarez as first choice. That's what I would do. I could be wrong, but if you're signing Alvarez, you're signing JWP, them two bring much more to the table, then you've got to have a cup of tea, mate. Something stuck in my bloody throat. Hang on. That's what I'm thinking about. Put your views in the comments, everyone. That's better. Absolutely, Michael. I think that was my worry, that all the money we got at the moment, all the money we're going to get from Paqueta, I didn't want it all going to David Moyes' pocket. And then he gets sacked 6 games into it. We hire a new manager. half of hiring a new manager is how much kit you're going to give him. Now, if we blow it all in this window, we've got nothing left for Christmas. That's not fair in a new manager. And again, I might be controversial, but while Moyes is here, I would hold some of that Paqueta kitty back if he goes, or certainly sign players that are for the future, which are young, dynamic, fast. We can't all buy Maguire. I'm so happy about that. I did not want that. And even in the comments, he did not want to join us, everyone. He was pushed into a corner. United tried to bully him out the club, and even then he's like, "Oh, give me 25 million, then I can cope with being at West Ham." We don't want those type of players, mate. And there's no way that a new technical director wanted him. No chance. Absolutely, Steve. Absolutely, my man. Yeah, looks like Michael. Certainly the ones that are kind of in Europe, and certainly the second player we will talk about played a lot of his football in the German league, isn't it, mate? So those two are the good ages, and certainly. So I don't know how David Moyes is going to cope with that. Is he going to be stubborn? Is he not going to play them? Is it going to be a whole crisis again after 5-6 games? We'll see what happens, mate. Absolutely, Kevin. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people have said that. Let me know if you agree. But a lot of people always have said that your midfield should be the most important position in the team. And you're kind of right when you look at it. You kind of bang in the middle, so your good midfield can help you attack, and a good midfield helps your defence, isn't it, everyone? And let me know in the comments if you believe that, and a lot of people do, and are kind of edging towards it, that midfield wins or loses your game. So that's where your quality is, isn't it? Midfield. If you've got weak midfield or your tactics are negative, like we've seen recently, you constantly, like a Bournemouth, everyone, we couldn't keep hold of the ball at all, which was so frustrating. Even Souček's come out of it. I'm thinking, you're in the midfield, mate. They couldn't hold on to the ball. It just kept on going one end to the other, one end to the other. When you've got strong midfield, they win the ball back, quickly, and then they give it to the technical players to hold it onto and create the chances and dictate the play the way it's been done. It's so important having a good midfield, and I feel sometimes our midfield's kind of hit and miss sometimes. Full-back area it is, but that's another story anyway for another show. You know what I'm like with wing backs. I love them. All good, mate. All good. Yeah, usual suspect. How you doing, mate? You alright? I mean, Lingard, I didn't want to talk about him, but it looks like he's training with us. He's not too old. And I can't forget what he did for us. That man just joined us and hit the ball running and smashed Tottenham out the way, smashed Leicester out the way. The way he used to run with the ball, which is not many people can do, he made us faster. He made us more exciting to watch. And yeah, it does worry you, things off the pitch. But listen, if it's a free transfer, it's a short-term contract. I got nothing to lose, and Moyes was able to get something out of him, and I think he's, some of the boys here might even have a flat still here. So I would definitely not pay a fee for him and give him 2-3 year contract. I would untrust him. But we need to build our squad up, everyone. We need to use the free transfers and loan market much more than we are. I keep saying that. We're missing a trick by not doing that, right? And I think he's fine with that. And because, I think he's worthy of a second chance, and I think deep down he probably thinks like, I owe it to West Ham the way I behaved in the last couple of windows. So, he can fill any of those three positions. And again, it's about the squad. I mean, he'll give pressure on Benrahma, he'll put pressure on Bowen, pressure on Fornals, pressure on Kudus if he joins. Why not? And he can score penalties. He provides a lot, and from the photos, he's kept himself quite fit. He's still quite fast, and he brings that Man United bit of cream and class to the club, isn't it, everyone? So I'm alright for it. As you know, I love the club signing players. I love the class squads, and you remember you used to look at the program, and the other team, their names used to end all the way bottom of the program list on the last page. Ours used to end in the middle. 3-4 goalkeepers, cut the teenagers. So I don't mind, mate. I'm up for it. And if they do give him the contract, then I kind of trust the management to kind of say that's all right, mate. Well, the story about Eze, Gary Cray, hope you're doing all right, mate. Is that's who David Moyes wanted before Benrahma. So we went in for Eze. Moyes told Sullivan to buy him at the beginning of the window. Sullivan said, I'm not going to buy anyone until we sell someone, which is a stupid way of looking at it. And if you remember, he went to Palace, and then we sold Anderson, didn't we, on the last 1 or 2 days before the window. Then we bought Benrahma, who luckily for us was still in the shop window. That's the way Sullivan operates. And we saw that with the Rice deal, didn't we? He wasted 6 weeks not buying anyone because he's just waiting for the money to come in first. I'm like, God, he's gonna go more or less. Start looking at targets now. So we lost Harvey Barnes and 1 or 2 others. It's a very, very silly way of doing it, old school. I love watching him play, mate. He's class. When he's got the ball at his feet, it looks like he's skating and gliding through the grass. He's so comfortable, so good to watch. Great player, but I think I need to look at how much money we think we've got. 105 for Rice. See, Paqueta, we don't know, do we? We're going to get 80 for him. So that's 200 million, but I can't really talk about Paqueta at the moment. So if we get Kudus over the line, 1 or 2 others, that's kind of nearly the money gone. But then I don't know how much money we got our own pocket. I don't think we had much. If we didn't sell Paqueta, or are not going to sell Paqueta, or didn't sell Rice, how much money do we think we really had? I don't think we had much. I think financial fair play was an issue in there, and Sullivan would have put it through as an excuse. And things like that. I mean, don't forget, I don't think we even paid Vlasic money yet because he used to play for a Russian club. And far as I know, I mean, I work in banking, we cannot pay anyone in Russia. It's sanctions. So when a Russian customer sends us money through the banking system, it's blocked. Usually, because I work with the US banks a lot, so they block it. And I ask them what's going on. They go, listen, Jazz, we've done a search on this company, and their beneficiary or ultimate owner is linked to Russia, and we're holding onto the funds. It's blocked under sanctions, so we can't send any money to Russia. We can't receive anything. And I think, well, Sullivan's probably loving it. It's all right, isn't it? Hello, Stevie, mate. Yeah, I know. Stevie's in there. Steve, where's your F words, mate? Where's all that, mate? Is it too early? Have you had your fag? You had your fag, your tea and your toast, my man? Rain, shine or snow, Steve has cut the fags, cut the toast, cut the teas in the middle before 8, didn't you, mate? Yeah, we need left back, stroke wing back, right back, stroke wing back. Yeah. Couple of CDM cover. We need strikers, 1 or 2. Need a lot of cover, mate. A lot of cover. And this goes back to Moisey not signing anyone in 60-70% of the windows that he's been in charge in everyone, or not signing enough. And then it's led to madness at the following windows because you've got to sign 7 or 8. It's been that kind of thing. He's not changed the squad enough. He's not been clever enough with the loan market. He's not been clever enough with the free transfer market. He's not been clever enough about changing it into a younger squad, because I think certainly last year Burnley and West Ham were the oldest squad in the Premier League, right? And now I think we're still down there, mate. It's old compared to, you look at Newcastle play, Villa play, Arsenal play. I'm in awe, mate. I'm jealous. I'm like, God, look the way they're zipping the ball around. It's absolutely fab. That's all we should be doing. And I watch our display against Bournemouth. It's like going back in time, isn't it, everyone? Yeah, Steve helped me with the Hammer history. So if you're new to the channel, go on my playlist. I did a great 2-3 episode video on Green Street, what it looks like now. We shot over 2-3 days, so have a look at it on Hammer history. Hope to do a bit more of those in the future. It just takes so long to plan it, film it, get people together. And I don't live in East London, live about a couple of hours away, so all that has to be taken care of. Steve Bacon, he used to be the photographer, didn't he, mate? Big guy, wasn't he? I got to get his book. I actually thought I bought his book and it's gone missing. Sometimes I lend them out and I forget who I've given them to. So, yeah, I got to get that book. Steve Bacon was the official club photographer, everyone, under John Lyle's time. Had such a close relationship with the players and the manager, especially Ray Stewart, that he was always allowed in the coaches. And he got upset, I think, when Lou Macari or someone came in, they kind of said, like, what are you doing around in the dressing room? He felt quite hurt. So, because John Lyle always kept it like a family. So, Steve Bacon, many famous photographs. And if you went to Upton Park in the 80s, you would see him near the goals, lying down near the advertising hoardings with his big camera and stuff like that. And you always jazz boring with West Ham history. Oh, mate. Morning, Tony, mate. Morning. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. Morning, Carter, mate. Morning. No problem, Carl. I'm happy to be back, mate. Yeah, pace, we do need him. That's the thing, Michael, and the other show we did with Frankie, didn't we, and Ian and 1 or 2 others, is I don't know who's really in charge. I think Stedden is the one in charge, And for that to happen, I think we need a new manager who understands the setup, knows, agrees with it, and kind of works that way, really. Newman's still there, which I've forgotten about. My good colleagues reminded me. So I think Newman will obviously work under Stetton, do all the dog work, go out there and look at players. Maybe he'd be given autonomy to look a little bit himself, but then most of the overall ruling and comments and judgment will be on Stetton. And when you bring someone like him, you've got to give him, all the autonomy. And but then it's confusing. What about Sullivan? You'll never want to. Would you ultimately leave it to them and just sign the check? I don't know. But that's the kind of what it's. I mean, look at the Brighton model. You might not know, and I didn't know till I looked into it last year. And we kept saying and Potter. I don't know. I'm not keen on Potter, right? I don't know his philosophy. I don't really know him as a man. He doesn't stand out in terms of personality or way of playing. I like strong managers who've got something about them, and you can clearly recognise what they do. With Potter. The thing with Potter is the owner of Brighton is a software, right? He made his money from there, and he's created this data thing, any software where they buy all their players through there. The manager hasn't got a say of who they're going to buy. The computer selects the players they're going to buy. You might not know that, and then Potter will get on with it. So that's quite interesting. It's worked for them. I don't know if Brentford got a similar policy, but as far as I know, that type of computer package system software no other club's got. So that's kind of pretty interesting. Sat Sri Akal, Tony. That means hello, good morning, or hello. Oh, bloody hell, I should know that, shouldn't I? In Punjabi, Sat Sri Akal. It's a way of saying hello, isn't it, Tony? Tony's fluent in Punjabi, my man. Good lad. Yeah, we hopefully Steve got to get you out of the house again, mate. You didn't go into the Berlin Arms with me, so I owe you one, mate. Got to owe you a treat, and I. So before I go on. Let's go back into Kudus. So, yeah, I'm happy with Kudus. Good age, fast, rapid, agreed personal terms. The fee we're looking at is around 35 million, I think, that's fine these days, isn't it? If you've got 2 legs and 2 eyes, you're worth 40 million, aren't you? These days, right? Put it that way. So 23 attacking, plays in the Bowen position or through the middle. Interesting to see how that will fit in. I think I like to, me, I like expansive football. And that's why I think Souček can't play. We need a really strong CD. So I feel sorry for Alvarez. He's gonna have his work cut out because everyone ahead is hopefully going to be attacking like mad, right? JWP is a bit worried because he's not that kind of, or is he? Is he really strong with leggy CDM? I don't know. Alvarez might be able to do two people's jobs, Rice used to, but you cannot not play Prowse because of the 10 goals a season he brings. The corners, the free kicks, the set pieces. You've seen what our corners are like. With Cressy and people like that, it doesn't even go past the first opening post. Forget that, mate. And half of them aimed at your knees. So you have to play him because of that. Whether you would push Ward-Prowse into the 3 on either where Benrahma or Bowen playing, I don't know. It's up to the manager. Then you play Souček and Alvarez, or do you bring another strong CDM with Alvarez? I like to have 2 really strong CDMs sitting in there, like Kante and Alvarez or those types, and then the 3-4 up front. Just let them get on with it. No need to defend, and us 2 are there with the 4 at the back. But that's what you do. You build a squad of players of different attributes and skills, and then you can change. That's the problem with Moyes. He sticks to one way of playing, one formation. So boring, but that's what it is. I'm just going to go into his stats about how many goals he's got and things like that, and then we'll move on to the other player. So let's have a look at his stats. And Ajax obviously bring the players, up in a good way. It's total football, it's technical football, it's Dutch football, as you know, all on the floor. So yeah, can't be David Moyes' sign-in. So 30 games, 11 goals, 4 assists, everyone. That's very impressive. Then the season before didn't do much. That's interesting. So most of the work, 4 goals, 2 assists in 6 Champions League games. So he's 23 and most of the good work has been done last year only. The year before he only played 16 games and got 1 goal. Year before that, 17 games, 4 goals, 3 assists. But then you've got to just go for it sometimes, because if you wait another year, he ain't going to come to you. So I think sometimes you've got to have that gut instinct. You've got to check out the player's background, and hopefully they've done that. And it's always good when you see the standard clubs that are after him, like Chelsea. Chelsea don't go after mugs most of the time, right? So for me, thumbs up. I think hopefully he'll fly in for a medical or they do it there. But we do things slowly, so don't expect this one to get over the line or certainly announced until around Monday. The way we do things, I mean, listen, it could break down, but I think he's probably going to come, but it ain't going to be that quick. So you could be looking at Monday until we get things wrapped up with him, really. Let's look at the other player, everyone. Then I'll go back to the chat. So the player is Konstantinos Mavropanos. Bloody hell, that's a mouthful, isn't it? He's 25. Greek, 19 caps, no goals. He's a centre-back that used to be with Arsenal for a good few years without really making it. And if I look at sort of what clubs he's played at, because he was on loan in Germany for a couple of years and then he got bought outright, really. So let me have a look at his clubs in a minute. I'm just going to look at his transfers as well. I think that's quite interesting. This is the player I'm not quite sure about, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Hang on, where's he gone? Right, where we are. Okay, yeah. So he joined Stuttgart last year for 3 million euros. See, I'm not sure about this player, and its alarm bells are ringing for me. 3 million euros from Arsenal last year. They put him on loan for the whole year, right? Then he was on Nuremberg on loan, so Arsenal just didn't bother with him. So he's flopped to Arsenal. He's right-sided, quite tall, 6'4", but he's more positive going forward, like getting on the end of corners and scoring, and he's not really a strong out-and-out defender as far as I'm concerned. I looked at a couple of his games, like where does he play, and he plays a lot when there's 3 centre-backs on the right side. He's been in their team, Stuttgart's team, for that reason. Most of the time, he has played in the flat back four, don't get me wrong, but a lot of it, what I saw, the stats last year, he played on the right side of the 3 centre-backs, and then they got wing-backs, right? And then I remember one game at Bayern, because this particular software I look at gives you match ratings, he got 4 at Bayern, he got taken off. So he's like a 4-5 a lot of the times, and then he jumps to 7 sometimes. That's the thing with him. But that's kind of worries me a bit, in terms of pace, even they said in the papers he's not that pacey, but he's strong, he's physical. So he's kind of the Maguire replacement, as we know. He's a lot cheaper. I think they're looking at 15 million, everyone, 18 million, everyone. So I don't know. But he plays in the German league. Stetten has definitely pushed this one over the line. And I know players can develop really quickly, because I said with Kudus, most of the achievements have been last year. And this guy, and that's what I was thinking of. Stuttgart got relegated, everyone. Conceding 60 odd goals, 55, 57, 60 goals. So his team, Stuttgart, got relegated. And he was up and down in a lot of the games. So I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'd probably be looking at someone else a bit. I don't know. I don't know why we're not looking at the Fiorentina guy anymore. The Serbian guy, do you remember him? He looked like a really strong, played in the final, didn't he, against us, or 1 or 2 others. So yeah, let me know in the chat. I'm not sure about him, but that's the thing about him. He looks better in a 3 at the back. I think that's what you guys were thinking while we were looking at Maguire. We wanted to play 3 at the back. I don't know, but we'll go to the comments. Yeah, I think Jonathan, what it is, he's predominantly right-footed, so him and I think it's the age as well. I mean, he's 25, Agard's young. If you look at Zuma, he's getting on the end now a bit, and he with injuries and things like that. So we need to look at that, and maybe it's in for that. Yeah, I don't know when the AFCON is, mate, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy if we get someone. That means there's more money left in the kitty, isn't it? If we were prepared to pay 30 for Maguire, and we're going to pay 17, 18 for him, that's another 12 that could go some. We need to fill in the squads. We won't have that issue as sometimes clubs say we need to get one out the door before one in. I don't think we got that issue. We need to fill it in, But my worry Again, I know we can't do everything at the same time. I get it. But we need a really good left back, young wing back, and right back, young wing back on that side. Because that, again, I can't keep repeating myself. That will really give us the chance to play one or two different formations with wing backs who can equally home at full back. So, and we're not being linked with anyone in that position at the moment, apart from a few £8-9 million players. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, a lot of people. I haven't looked into him a lot, mate, Michael, but a lot of people are saying that. Yeah. Jonathan, absolutely right. I forgot about that. That's a great point, mate. I did see that. And he just does all these drag backs with his left foot. He is very, very left-footed, mate. You remember Nigel Winterburn? He nearly fell over a couple of times because he just didn't want the ball touching his right foot. Really great point, that is. Yeah. But then I'm not too worried about it. We used to have great people like Liam Brady and stuff like that. So if you're really, really that good with your left foot, I don't mind, long as you obviously you're not going to play him on the right side. Yeah, I get it. You play him in the centre, he might do things differently, but I have seen him go to the right side and then he drags it back with his left foot. That's a good point, mate. Yeah. Go reach out with the comments. Yeah, Benson, a good ambitious team heading in the right direction. We got to look at younger players, mate. We got to look at younger players. I don't know if you heard that. Apparently, we bid 40 million, didn't we, for the Bournemouth guy, Solanke, and not really noticed him a lot. But listen, he is a David Moyes striker, mate. He just runs, hold his position up well. Broja would be amazing. He's nearly coming back. I'd say keep your eyes open on that one. That one getting over the line with a few days to go. I don't know, I could be wrong. I think there was a lot of pressure from him last time to come because he just doesn't want to hang around anymore, which is good. He could sit there and just earn his money. Broja is he's from kind of the area I'm in. He actually went to the same primary school as my daughter. Albanian family, very strong, plays for Albania regular. Very, very strong. Very, very strong. Won a penalty at London Stadium a couple of years ago, and Ward-Prowse got the other goal, funny enough. I think we lost 2-0 or 2-1. And he's a Moisey striker, but he would still have a future even if we went for a fast attacking coach. So good age, but it's a very serious injury. He's out for more than a year. And they want 40 million. Poch, as you know, likes to work with young people. I don't think he's in favour of letting him go at the moment, and they don't have a lot up front, and they have a lot of injuries. But Broja and West Ham link go back a while, and that's the thing. I'm feeling really exciting because sometimes with 2-3 days to go with the window about to be shut, we knew we didn't have any money, and they say, oh yeah, West Ham have done their business, they don't think anything's going to happen, blah blah blah, go to sleep. But this time around, we've got a lot of money, a lot of room in the squad, and even with 1 or 2 days to go, there could be a surprise because we can make that deal happen because we got the funds, we got the room. So it's going to be a good window, this one, I think. What's Stevie on about? You go for Captain Birdseye. Who are you on about? Actually, talking about that, my wife used to work for the company that make fish fingers, and I love fish fingers. And she met the new Birdseye and took a photo with him and all that stuff, mate. God, I come up with some crap, don't I? Fish cakes, mate. It's all about the fish cakes. Oh, mate. Oh, it's going mad. It's all going mad, matey. Oh, we got them B's and A's. All the old naughty boys are here, mate. I hope you naughty boys have been well without Jazz. Now I can keep an eye on all you lot now, mate. What's happening, man, is we are signing 2 players, mate. Kudus, who I'm very excited about. Young, fast, can play in a bowling position or in the middle of the 3 behind. 23. Really, really excited about that. And then you got Konstantinos, who I'm not sure about, mate. I'm not sure about him because he's not really made it. Arsenal. He was part of a relegated team, conceding 50, 60 goals at the back. And a lot of the time he got taken off. Yeah, his strength is that he's 6'4", which Moyes loves. He's like a tank. Scores a good few goals from crosses and corners. So there's the similarity with Maguire. He's a cheaper version of Maguire. Same height, same build. even the heads are nearly the same. I've just noticed. I think that the heads are the same. So yeah, not gonna. So there you go, and he's 12 million cheaper, mate, and he's 6 years younger. So, but like you guys said, if they've got another centre back lined up, or they'll put that money towards a fullback and get 20 million fullback over the line, then we don't know till the window shuts, and then we can decide and see if it's been good. Afternoon, Darren. It's only 10:58, my man. But how you doing? You alright? Oh, you're in Thailand, aren't you? What am I on about? How you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Thanks for joining in, mate. I know someone from our road just went to Thailand, said it was a rainy season, and they had a great time. And they're saying how really good value for money out there, because you got the Thai baht, haven't you? Really good value for money, and they're able to get around paying next to nothing. I think they said, we paid £10 and got all around the islands on a boat and stuff. So you look after us, didn't you, out there, mate? Oh, I'm very good, Lee. Very good, mate. Very, very good. Hope you're good, mate. Transfer window's always exciting. Always good to do these shows, mate. You never know, Pharaoh. Hope you're doing well in Cairo there, mate. You're absolutely right. Football is a funny old game, especially West Ham. You don't know what's going to happen. They go out, look boring, look half asleep against Bournemouth, let a 1-goal lead slip, and then, play Chelsea and they're up for it. So, I don't know, mate. I don't know. Yeah, Bournemouth have got that Alex Scott as well, don't they, mate? And Fulham have got the Traore. They got Traore from Wolves, everyone, on a free transfer for them. And he was worth a lot of money a couple of years ago, wasn't he? Good lad. Spread the word, mate. You're good for the channel, mate. Yeah, that's it, mate. Ian, how you doing? We always got to have that option, Ian. That's why I like Danny Ings, but don't play him by himself. Don't kill the guy, and then we give him like hell. I've got a lot of time for Danny Ings, mate. I love old school strikers. You know me. I'm from the 1980s. I love two up front. I like little man, big man. Call me old fashioned. It fucking works. I like Dings, but don't play him up front. Right? Only buy him. Like I go back to again. Flip the formation sometimes. Play two up front. Bring him on off the bench. I'm always in the belief, I might be greedy, I think we need 3-4 strikers. You need 2 big men, 2 little men, right? So that one big man covers the other big man if injured. You can play 2 up front, or more importantly than not, Mr. Moyes, when things are going a bit slow and we're falling asleep on our sofas or in the ground, make those changes, bring Ings on. Don't bring him on and take the other striker off. You leave that striker on, then you bring Danny Ings on, and you play 2 up front with a bit of guts, let fly, get Ward-Prowse on there, throwing in his little bombarded bombs into the whatever, and that'll be. But I'm a bit afraid that Moisey might use that more often than not, and I hope he's not thinking like 70 minutes, which he normally does. We're not going to do nothing. Then after 75 minutes, we're going to stick, all these people up front and then start bombing long balls into there, mate. But that is the point. You got to mix it around and play to the strength of the players. You decide on the philosophy, like I kept mentioning last year. Decide on the way you're going to play, formation, style. Then you buy players accordingly. Klopp does that. Arteta, I hate him, but he does that. Arteta's got one way of playing. He wants to press with the ball, press without the ball, like Poch, and he's buying machines. You can't play like that all your life. You get burnt out. We saw the Liverpool model, yeah? But he's buying 24, 25-year-olds who are athletically very strong, great stamina, great strength, great pace. And in 2 years, he knows he's going to have to change it again, because you can't last longer than that playing that like that. I don't know how they do it. To the eye, it's like everyone's defending, but when they're attacking, they've got 6 people in the box. It's like, wow, right? But he's buying players according that will match that, right? We haven't done that because we don't know who's buying the players. The chairman's steering the boat the other way, the manager's steering it the other way, and the boat's going to sink, innit, everyone? You've got to all be on the same page, right? And it's not that difficult. Football's not that difficult game to understand. We make it difficult, right? Because we've tried to put players in the wrong positions, and it's getting embarrassing. So maybe that's why we're not signing any strikers, because a striker won't sign for us. You probably want reassurances like, what are you going to do with me, mate? You're going to leave me up there by myself? I need someone to talk to 90 minutes, isolated. Because in that 4-3-3 system, everyone, no one is isolated in the team. Even though it looks like there's one up front, the 2 next to him are very close. In our 4-2-3-1, the 3 The 3 don't get that close to the 1, and then when that 1 is Antonio and he's having an ice cream in the corner flag, it doesn't help, does it? You need people in the box. You need people in the box to score a goal. Oh, mate, don't get it, do they? I'll tell you what, the wife is I can't cook nothing, mate. I even burn eggs. Wife is a amazing cook, mate. Absolutely amazing. Again, Upton Park, like I said, we've got the room, we've got the kitty, mate, so don't rule nothing out. So this time around it is exciting because we do have the money and he's got no excuses, right? Paqueta, probably go. I could be wrong. I don't know. You can't say no to Man City unless Man City pull off. If Man City want him, they're going to get him, right? We'll see, mate. Yeah, I haven't looked. I'm not looking at that Doku guy because he wants to play for Pep and no one else. And he could be a little bit above our level, but you can only buy a certain amount of numbers, isn't it, mate? But we'll see. Yeah, I forgot about Mubama, mate. He's looked good, but he needs a Poch type round him, mate. No, I won't be, mate. My son will be there. Yeah, I won't be. I will be now and again. Probably go once a month, I think, at the moment. I used to go all the time, so my son's got a really good season ticket near the front, so we'll see. But I will let you guys know when I'm there, and I'm usually messing about outside the ground, having a few beers, mate, and be good to see some of you. Well, picking up that check, yeah, mate. No, not really. No news on him, mate. No, don't know what's going on with that one, mate. Don't know. Yeah, I know, mate. Morning, Ruby. How you doing, mate? Yeah, I know, mate. But what it is, transfers makes you a bit happy because we've got money indirectly from somewhere else. So we'll see what happens. But what's left for me to kind of carry on now is I think 1 or 2 of these are going to go over the line, but might take till Monday to confirm everything. They've got to get a shift, don't they, mate? It's got 13 days left. They got to get off their backsides and get these deals done because there's money, there's room. We've got a very small squad, old in a lot parts of it, so it needs it. It's just that I would have liked the window to be closed in line with the season starting, which normally I think they tried to do, but they couldn't because of the World Cup or 1 or 2 other things. So it's frustrating how we're wasting games. That's the way I call it. We don't have the right team. That team at Bournemouth didn't have anyone starting. So what's the excitement? As a young fan, 2 things used to excite me. The new kit. Seeing the players in pre-season, that new kit as a kid used to get me excited, and new players. We had none of that at Bournemouth, right? So how's that going to get me off my... And the way of football... And we played that a little bit better than last season. I'll give it that. That's not hard. But second half was really bad, wasn't it? Like the old days, flipping out, send me to sleep. But yeah, they need to get a move on and start to use these new players, sign them quicker, because the next 4 or 5 games, I'm not expecting anything. And I am expecting... I don't know with this David Moyes train, actually. With all the money and players coming in, he might be all right. But are we happy with all right? Are we? Are we all right with 10th? Are we all right with 12th? Are we? I don't know. Not that we've got taste of Europe now every year. I don't know. I don't think so. I think the board will hopefully... That's the worry. How kind of ambitious is the board? Are they happy? Well, it looks like they were happy with 15th. They were happy with that form. So are they happy with 10th? I don't know. They probably are. That is the problem. We want to push on top 7, don't we? Most seasons, if not, which will get harder with Newcastle Villa up there. So a lot of things to think about and mull over. For me, mentally, it's because of Moyes that it's not clear, and his future isn't clear, is it? He's got a year less than a year left. That doesn't... I can't think clearly. Think where are we going with this? So either you make it absolutely clear with a 3-4 year contract, and it is what it is. But for me, as soon as we get the new manager in, a young manager, then I'll be well excited again. And I don't mind losing 4-3, 3-3. And look, Villa got tanked 5-1. God, they did try, didn't they? You're right. But made a change at half time. The new striker scored. It looked really exciting, and a lot of So things like that make me more exciting. Is how intent are you, how ambitious are you trying to score a goal, trying to entertain the fans. It might come, it ain't going to come off all the time. It didn't under John Lyle, didn't it? We struggled a lot, right? But no way do we ever boo the team off the pitch back in those days. Have a look at the footage when we got relegated a couple of times in that last home game, and the fans stayed behind, applauded every player off the pitch and into the stands, because they knew sometimes they didn't have enough money, but those players, they gave everything, and we played football in the right way, you know. And for me, that's West Ham. That's the philosophy. And if you look at any good club, I know we haven't got as much money as Pep or Arteta or one or two other people like that. The Brighton, you know, even Brighton manager hasn't got that much money as us. But for me, that's football. You've got to play it in the right way. Yeah, you're not going to win all the time. But when you go into a game and your sole ambition is to A, stop the other team from scoring, and B, not look to score, apart from 2 counter-attacks in 90 minutes, or certainly start chucking the ball into the box after 70 seconds. It's like and we knew this was going to happen. When it was 1-0 to West Ham at Bournemouth, we sat behind the ball. When it was 1-1, we started to come out. I'm like, well, I've seen this so often. It's just like boring now, you know what I mean? Right, I'm going to read a few comments and I'm going to let you get on with your days. Yeah, and I had a lot of respect for Allardyce, man. He not easy. He didn't have to take a job in the Championship, so don't forget he did that. He brought his captain with him, who was at Newcastle, that were a Premiership club. So I've got a lot of respect for Nolan, a lot of respect for Allardyce for bringing us back up, mate. You know, okay, I know at the end it got tedious. In between, we had some good times, didn't we, with Sacco, Valencia, and Downing, and yeah, he brought Creswell in, and the thing you can't knock Allardyce for, he didn't waste that much money in the window. He kind of knew who you wanted, and they fitted in. Like all you know, like all the team was like 6'8", John Carew, and our fullback was like quite, you know. So he knew what he wanted, and they liked playing for him, and it worked. But long term, it was difficult, and I get that. But at the beginning and that playoff final, he was all right, mate. He's all right, and he never lost a dressing room. I don't think he ever has. The players like him, but yeah, it was a style, and he had a bit of a hippo head, had a bit of a chip on his shoulder. I get that. Alan Pardew, I loved him. I loved Alan Pardew. He was West Ham. You know, good appointment by Terence Brown, the chairman at the time, who also got a lot of flack. Who's a life honorary president for life, I think. So yeah. He was good, Alan Pardew. I mean, not easy to take charge of a relegation club again. Came from Reading, and completely he nearly changed the whole team in one summer. Zamora, Effrington, Collins, Gabidon, Rio Coca, Benny in the following year, FA Cup final. Pardew's good, mate. Pardew's good. Yeah, all right. Now. Jesus, Steve, you bloody wake up in the morning with that on your mind, you naughty boy. Most people like think of God, think of like, yeah, what I'm going to do for humanity. Steve wakes up, fag in his mouth, thinking about shagging and that. Flipping hell. It takes all to turn the world around, my man, doesn't it? Takes all, doesn't it? Actually, mate, I got to get my photo done. You reminded me, mate. Yeah, I need to. Let me look at that later. I heard you got to go on the website to get it booked, so I got to look at that, ain't I? Steve, he's going about. Oh, matey. Yeah, you never know, mate. Yeah, looks good, but you never know. You never know. It could break down, mate. I think, Jonathan, what it is, it links largely to your revenue. So what it's saying is they don't want rich owners pumping in money into a poor club. They said that's unfair. So if you've got revenue in terms of sponsorship, what you make in the ground, on gate receipts, boxes, you know, that kind of thing, then they said you can spend it because, yeah, you are a rich club like Man United. That's fine, right? But what you can't do is take over a Reading Football Club and then pump in 200 million in one window, because it's unfair, it's cheating. But the way they got around it, City and Everton, was I think City's Ukrainian rich owner, he I don't know what happened, he personally one of his companies sponsored a training ground and got around that way, so he pumped the money through that way. And then City, I think City are in big trouble. They got a lot of, they're like a bit like Trump. They got a lot of serious allegations coming up against them. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. That case hasn't finished yet. Yeah, so I don't know exactly what's going on. It's something about overspending it, mate. And the thing with us, Jonathan, is we under Brady, we got no corporate money, we got no revenue, mate. We got no ground sponsors. We haven't got any shirt sponsorship of any meaningful money. I think Arsenal got Man United 900 million deal with Nike, is it something like that? One of those clubs, I can't remember. So yeah, the problem is that Karen Brady is not generating enough corporate revenue for the club, mate. That's the kind of thing, mate, and that's why there's a limit on how much you can spend. I mean, we just keep showing losses, mate. You know, paying loans back. Just really careful with debt and loans. It's proper old school, mate. If you owe someone if the club needed a cash injection of 30 million, he goes and gets a loan. Why can't he just inject the funds at 0% like Ashley used to? And think about it when you sell the club. He's just really, like I said, one in, one out. Imagine he told the manager at the beginning of the window, I want that player. No, you can't have that player until we sell one. And if it takes 8 weeks to sell that player, you can't have the player you want. It's like running a sweet shop, corner shop, isn't it? Get money out the till. How much money did we make today then? Again, like Moyes and Hodgson, whatever, I think the owners are probably the oldest in the league and one of the old school. You won't get those a lot in the future. I think you can see the way it's going with a lot of the people like oil-rich Arab states want to put money in that section, and they've got unlimited supply of cash, haven't they? Yeah, could be, mate. Yeah, I need to work it out, mate, and do a show on that. Absolutely right, mate. Yeah, I never watched it back, mate, and I remember we were winning. We were 2-0 up, weren't we? And I was going mad first half, ringing my cousins, and then typical, innit, mate? Soft goals we gave away. Yeah, I think she was going to go Birmingham and it didn't happen. But anyway, I'm going to call it quits and get on with my day job and see what else is going. Follow the news. I might do one later on, depending on what kind of breaking news we get or new news we get. But thanks for joining. It's been nearly an hour. And yeah, I think it's going to be exciting because we've got the money this time, right? Which isn't Sullivan's money. And we got room in the squad to buy everyone. And we can see we need a lot of room for improvement. And I'm not full of confidence for every league game, at the moment, which isn't good. And I'm not that excited as I used to be before, because I'm so negative. I'll turn the game on and I'm thinking we're not going to win, which is bad. And I think that'll be lifted as we buy more and more better players, we play better football, which at the moment ain't happening. And perhaps a new manager, we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, the fans like you, me, the suffering, we need to connect together, cheer each other up, have a laugh, and take it from there, really. So have a good Friday, and I'll catch up with you with the next show. Take care. Signing out.